prepared to be captivated by Lumina, the latest film from our next guest. Gino McKoy joins us now with more. And Gino, kind of tell us about your career path, because I know you started in music and then you went to film.
I came out to LA to be signed by one of the major labels. I was going to see if Universal Music or one of the other majors was my path, my career path. But I decided to stay independent because I didn't want to change my style, and I basically had to figure out how to release my music and everything else. So I came up with an idea to write a script and to produce a movie and put my music in that movie. And that's how I was going to, that was the way that was going, the avenue I was going to use to promote my music. And first script I wrote was about the deep web and Bitcoin. I was the first person in Hollywood to write about it. I consulted with the FBI, and that was my first script I ever wrote to put my music in. And progressing from there, then we got to Lumina, which came a number of years afterwards in 2016. And then I finally got to the stage where it was time to release the movie, and I produced it. And I did my movie I produced a movie during COVID. It was one of the hardest periods ever to shoot a movie and to make a movie during that time. And we're here now.
Well, tell us about it, because a lot of people, as they're growing up, go, "Oh yeah, I want to write a film. I want to be in a movie. You're living this life, and it's really happening." So, at what point did you decide, "Oh yeah, this is definitely what I'm going to do"? And how hard is it for somebody who's out there watching for you to say, these are all these steps that you've got to go through and hurdles that you have to cross to get to this point?
Well, I mean, first was going to LA for music, and then I went into film, like I said. But it was a very difficult challenge because you have to learn the industry itself. Sometimes people go into the industry very blindly and they don't do their research and everything else. And you really need to do your research and learn about the industry, learn about the people in the industry, the business of the industry. And then there's a creative side of it. You need to be good creatively as well too. So it was both juggling that, both left and right brain type of thing. And thank God I'm both left and right brain. So kind of I was learning the business side of it and also trying to perfect my creative side of it. And the advice I would give to people going into the industry is make sure you research everything. Make sure you know everything about the industry that you're in, both the business, the finance, the creative side of it, and make sure that you have a really good support base. Like I have both of my parents, Linda and Hudson. They're producers on the film. My mom became a very, very good line producer in Hollywood. She's from the finance side. She was from the banking side, so she knows a lot about the finance part of it. So it's good to have, that type of knowledge going into finance, business, and also creative, because that's what you need in the industry in order to make it. Because when you get to distribution and understand distribution contracts and IP contracts, it's very legal. You have to be very legal minded. You have to understand contracts very well, like intellectual property contracts. So I think that my main thing that I would advise to people to get over hurdles, to get over all these things, is make sure you research everything that you know about the industry, about the business, about the creative side of it. Try to get into networks to network with people and ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions and never give up. Even if you fail sometimes, you need to pick yourself back up, and you need to continue doing what you're doing, because if you give up, then you're gonna sell yourself short and not reach the goal of what you really wanted to do once you got to Hollywood. And the good thing about it is that spending time in Hollywood as well, you learn exactly people to listen to, people not to listen to, and what to do and what not to do.
Well, tell us a little bit about the film Lumina. What's it about? How did you come up with the idea?
Oh, well, I was writing this movie while I was in Florida. visited my uncle in 2016, and I was thinking about what would it be like if someone lost someone close to them to an alien abduction. So I wanted to go down that rabbit hole, and I went down that rabbit hole with all the conspiracy theories and everything else for a number of years, going back to the starting of the internet, when it was really commercialized in 1999, and I started blogging. And, I interviewed a lot of people in the Marines and the military and everything else, and they gave their stories of encountering UFOs and UAPs, having these extraterrestrial type of experiences. And these are normal people. They're the civilians now, but they were in the military. Very credible, true stories. So I wanted to see how the alien abduction would affect the person that you love, and the people around you that are affected by it, and see exactly what it would be like going through that experience. And of course, it's comedic at the same time, and it's a road trip type of movie where friends go out there trying to search for the person that went missing because of this alien abduction. And I wanted to explore that, and I explored that in this movie. And Lumina is really a fun sci-fi comedic thriller that takes you on a wild ride. It's very, very tongue-in-cheek, very high camp, but at the same time, we deal with like real topics and real issues in terms of extraterrestrials, UFOs, whole conspiracy theories. Going down that rabbit hole, I think is very important, because we saw what happened with the congressional hearings, where they gave testimonies about UAPs and extraterrestrials, and it's a very much real topic. And as well as the military, and the military officers I spoke to in the Navy, the military, and everything else, that gave their eyewitness accounts as to what happened to them. So our movie deals with that.
Will there be a sequel?
Yeah, I've written the sequel. It deals with more the nuclear side. I'll just leave it at that. And I've written part of it, but not all of it yet. But yes, I've written like about half of it. And I understand the rest was going to be it. But yes, it was a sequel.
So where can folks see Lumina to begin with?
We're going to be on Amazon and Paraflix, which is a new streaming platform, and the other streaming platforms, and AVOD platforms like Tubi and everything else. It's like a slow rollout after the theatrical release.
I've got to ask, what do you like better, writing, music, or writing films?
I love both. My first love is music, because I come from a musical family. So, and I'm a singer. I'm a lyrical tenor. I had some really big people on my music album. Greg Gaines, who was the musical director for Michael Jackson. David Kirshenbaum, who was an iconic, legendary producer. Charles Pierre, who worked with me as well from London Beats. So I work with some of the best in the music industry. So my first love is music, but it's hard for me to pick between music and film, because I grew up watching Star Wars as a child, and I'm making movies right now, and both music and film go hand in hand. So I guess it's a tie. I love making music, and I love making movies.
So if there's somebody out there watching thinking they want to get into the film industry, what's the best piece of advice you can give them?
Never give up. Do your research. You will fail, but failure is a part of like the journey. It's a part of you picking up yourself and overcoming those obstacles, and that helps you grow stronger. That helps you grow more knowledgeable as to what to avoid, what not to do, what to do. And the best thing is just to have faith, man. And I'm a believer in God, so God has taken me this far. So I'm continuing, even though we've faced like the biggest obstacles in this industry, from sabotage to discrimination to everything else. I'm still going. I have to thank God for that.
Gino McKoy, thank you for joining us today, and look for Lumina on a screen near you.
Thank you so much. And yeah, check it out. You're going to love it.